Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Doby, and today I've got the magnificent honor of having entrepreneur, best-selling author, educator, father, and motivational speaker, Mr. Marwin Strong, on the line with us today. Hey, we're going to talk about his crazy book. It's not crazy like that, but he dives so deep that it makes you reflect and being a couple of corners in your mind. So that's why I call it crazy. So thanks, Marwin, for being with us. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So look, for those of us that are just meeting you with all your accolades and contributions to the community, from the inside looking out, talk to us about Marwin Strong.
Well, actually, I was born in Muncie, Indiana. My mother, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to come on this great live and all this great things you guys are doing. My cousin, she the most beautiful thing to me, and I'm just happy to be on here. We always say what we're gonna do, but just to being right here is so much an honor meeting you, and great guy, great spirit, and I really appreciate you allowing me to come on here. But I really want to just I grew up in Muncie, Indiana. I grew up. My mother, she raised 8 children by herself. My daddy, my late father, he died 2 months ago. He was a pimp. So I got a total of 16 sisters and brothers. So growing up at an early age, I grew up where drugs and violence and prostitution, gangs and whatnot. So, but my mother, she had to do what she had to do to make sure that we was okay. I've been through trials and tribulations with lights being cut off. I go to the next door neighbor's house to because the heat is off, so we gotta go boil water to make bath water. So all 8 of us had to get in the same tub together. We understand the dynamics how roaches are, and I named a couple of mice like Michael Jackson. So I've been through so much stuff, water, just all these other things, So I grew up in the area, with a lot of my friends that were selling drugs, and so growing up, I was just a product of my environment, and I did what I had to do to survive. I want to. I understand the dynamics how I go to the McDonald's and eat at the trash can, when they throw it away. So I understand those type of things. So growing up, I always had a thing that escaped me from the life we was living. I was a real good basketball player. I played basketball, just played with the best, with guys from the NBA and whatnot. But it was 2 things that I was fighting. I was fighting my street life, my basketball life, the way I was living, being a part of my environment. So in the year 1998, I was going to try for the Charlotte Hornets basketball team. My family, Bonzi Wells, which he played 10 years in the Portland Trail Blazers. Right now, he's a coach right now at Lehman College in Memphis. And 2 weeks out about to go, goes to a party to celebrate, have a good time, hang with my homeboys. We have round drink tables, having a good time. I buy the first drink, they buy the other 15, buy the next drink. So I'm drinking, popping pills, having a good time, just enjoying myself, chasing women. So next thing I know, a guy gave me some alcohol, and he poisoned me. I ended up spending 2 years in the hospital. I had to learn how to walk again and talk again. I was in a coma for a month. They told my family, this young man is about to die. There's nothing we could do for him. Lost all vital signs and everything, and spent a whole month in the coma. So I woke up. I woke up out my coma. Then the doctors came and said, well, there's nothing we could do for this young man. He's going to be a vegetable. He will be totally unable to walk again, talk again. So I had to go through physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, every therapy you think of. I had to go through like a newborn baby, and I turned my life around. I had a encounter with God. I just said, "Hey man, look here, God. I ain't gonna be perfect. I'm not gonna be the same person that you think I am, but I'm gonna try my best." And I just changed my life. The funny part about it is a blessing, because after I got out the hospital, I ended up going to University of UMass at Boston, play basketball. So I speak all over the world. I'm a national, a motivational speaker. I got my own enough movement here in Muncie, Indiana, to really deter young men and young ladies, and also help people with drugs and violence addiction to turn their life around. So I was Barack Obama's greeter when it came to Indiana. I got Star Press Person of the Year. So I've been all over the world speaking. Got my own Marwin Strong Motivational LLC, where I speak and do workshops, and now I'm about to do something fantabulous that I just got a book called Back from the Shadows of Death. I got a launch today out of London with 12 other co-authors called Purpose Passion. And then in December, I gotta have another book called Back from the Shadows of Death. But the greatest thing about it is actually next year there will be a movie out about my life in Muncie, Indiana.
Wow.
Yeah, Blue House Films. They're gonna be filming this out of Noblesville, Indiana. So it's huge, man. I mean, it's gonna be one of the huge. It's gonna be on Tubi. We're gonna get on the big screen. We've been trying to talk to Lionsgate and those type of things. So it's very phenomenal. And I'm just talking to you and just having a good time, just talking to you and a conversation.
Wow. So 19 years ago, you actually died,
Yes.
and were basically reborn and transformed in short order. When you came back to yourself, what was your first realization about where you were?
Well, it's a lot of things because I get a question asked that because it's very vital for me to say this. You know, I did not know nobody. You
Wow.
know, I didn't. I mean, my family when I came out of coma, I know I just had tools in me, and I was just tubed up, as I say. I didn't. So I know what happened to me. My mother, she found me in the bathroom having a grandma seizure. That's the only thing. Last thing I remember was going to the restroom. Um, and my family started running, and so I had to really collect my thoughts for about a couple of days or a week to really recognize where I really was.
Mm,
So, but I know that something happened, but I didn't know, you know.
mm.
But as time progressed, I started understanding, what was going on. So it was it was emotional, that I couldn't walk. My brain wasn't telling me to walk. I couldn't think, didn't even know my ABCs. I couldn't say one word. I just had to sit there in silence to try to really figure out what was going on.
So you were basically totally reborn,
Yes, sir.
like a newborn baby.
Like a newborn baby.
What a beautiful way to come back. Like, I don't know anything bad. I don't know anything that happened to me. I just know that I'm here and I got to move forward. And so, what was the defining moment as you navigated the maze of recovery that had you or motivated you to in June of 2020 to put down your thoughts and your experiences in Back from the Shadow of Death, fulfilling life's mission with God's help?
Well, actually, the thing about it, I had a talk with God, and I had a talk with God actually before I went to the restroom.
Mm,
And it was a day before,
mhm,
and I never forget. I told my mom, I said, "Mom," I said, "I'm ready." Now my mom, she was hardcore. She was old school. Like ain't nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. What's wrong? And I said, "Well, Mom, I want you to call my pastor. His name was Pastor Bond, which I love dearly. That brought me to Christ." I said, "I want you to call him and Mother Bond and just basically tell them that I'm ready." So she called him, and I didn't say nothing to my mom. And when he came in, he anointed my head and he said, "So what's up, son?" I said, "I want to give my heart to Christ. I'm tired, you know, and I just gave my heart to God in my mother's bed. And day, that next day is when they found me in the bathroom having grandma seizures, you
wow.
know, and I died. So, I did not know. I just know that, I was just tired because a lot of people in the world, I mean, that's out there selling drugs and it's all over the nation, all over the world. Young men selling drugs, toting guns. A lot of them don't want to be out there. But some got so much of a grasp to them. They got to grab the money. You know, the fame and fortune. It's great to do that, but it's only lasts for a season. You know, and I was just tired. You know, I was tired of, of doing the things I was doing, and I wasn't no angel at all out there in the world. You know, and again, I was just a product of my environment. So I wanted to change. You know, I wanted to change for the better. At that time, I had a 2-year-old son, and I also had a 1-year-old daughter. And I wanted, and I was just at that point. You know, my daddy, I couldn't blame him. He was just living the life that he was living. So I never, until his death, he always been good to me. But he came in my life later on in life.
Mm.
When I was in the hospital, that's when him and I we really got real close. So
Okay. So, you know, it's a reality for a lot of people that they slowly go down the rabbit hole into the streets.
yeah,
We're born in the rabbit hole.
yeah,
And so you had a natural proclivity just to follow the path that was laid out before you until, you know, at some point you became self-aware and aware of the world. And you're like, I'm not really contributing to the fabric of the communities that I'm in or to the betterment of myself and the people immediately around me.
yeah.
And so what flipped that switch? Do you recall? Was there a specific moment or?
Well, what flipped the script? Well, the whole thing was my children. You know, I mean, like my family, I love them dearly, but we never had nobody really in the family to be, that man, that person that succeed in life, because it was generational curses. My family, was grew up, drug dealers, drug addicts, and you name it, stealers. So we really never had that person that we could actually look at and say, hey, this guy is a community activist, or or a person, NBA basketball player. So I want to change the narrative of the word strong. I want to change that narrative. That, hey man, somebody could come out of nothing and become something. So what that broke the generational curse that we had up on my family. Now I have others, family members. I have other people right now, from the things that I've been through. Like I was a sacrificial lamb to change the family.
Right, right.
Say about making any sense with that, but yeah. So I really, I just want to change. I wanted something new. I know the life that I'll live, I'll be dead or in prison. And
Mm.
I've seen so many people in my family, my friends. I've seen people get killed. We moved to California at an early age, about 9 years old. I seen a young man was getting it. They had initiated. They had initiated him, and the guy shot him 27 times right by me. So I had to. I was up, but that's when they had playground tires and all them type of tires, and I ran. In California, it's called jaywalking.
Right.
I didn't care nothing about jaywalking. I ran upstairs, and they actually ran after me, because they didn't want nobody to tell on them, and they knocked on my door, and asked my mom, can your son come out of the place? She said, nah. My mother, she was real street inclined, so
Mm.
she wasn't playing no games when it came to me and her other kids.
Right.
Um, and so I done seen it all. I done seen people get shot, killed. So that type of lifestyle was like, it got to be something. It got to be changed somewhere. I don't know where's it at, but I'm gonna make a change for the better of my kids and my family, because I wanted my kids to be role model. I want to be a role model to them and lead by example. And that's what really just clicked. And for 24 years now, I've been, I didn't change my life.
The number 24 is pretty significant considering the fact that you basically just told me that 24 hours after you made the decision to give your life to God, the world kind of took you down.
Yes,
You lost your life and you were reborn at some point. But within 24 hours of you making that decision, they say the devil is busy,
yeah, oh yeah,
and will challenge you and your determination to the nth degree. Says, if I can't have you, nobody will.
exactly.
Sounds like a bad, really toxic relationship.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So and then you return with the intestinal fortitude to bring yourself back with the help of God and the people around you.
Yes, sir.
But also it's significant that, you know, uh you in my opinion, and you know, I won't even say what church I was born into, but I could hear my auntie saying now, well, he said he was gonna give his life to God. Well, why was he drinking alcohol? Why was he back around that crowd? And he has to be committed, and God will spank you immediately
Oh yeah.
for stepping back into the world that you just disavowed in his name.
Yeah.
Did that ever cross your mind that that's what happened?
Well, a lot of people don't know, but they know. Back when I was 13 years old, I will
Mm,
never forget this.
mm,
I didn't grow up in church. You know, I
okay.
didn't grow. I didn't grow up in a, you know, like I said, my family, we was just living. We were trying to get that money.
Right,
We was gamblers. You know, that's all I knew.
right.
Juke joint, you name it.
Mm,
Tip sessions, we eat chicken. We had to go to the room, and while all the grown folk did what they did, so all the other dudes, we play house. You know the whole synopsis.
right. Yeah, been
So,
there.
so, so, so I didn't grow up in church at all.
Right.
And but the thing about it is, I never forget when I was 13 years old. I was at my grandma's house, and the pastor came and he said, "Hey, you want to be baptized?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I want to be baptized." He said, "You want to go to heaven?" Old preacher, man, old preacher. He said, "So yeah," he said, "You want to be baptized?" So I ended up getting baptized when I was 13 years old, and I think about this all the time because God had His hands upon me way back when,
Mm,
and I'm not aware of it, you
mm,
know. So when I got baptized, I was out still doing my thing. I was like, just start drinking, robbed the ice cream man at 9 years old. We got caught. My other friend, he took the bait for it. But I got a whipping out this world with extension cord.
no
So
doubt.
yeah, so that's when you ain't had to worry about child abuse. They let you whip the kids. Now
Mm,
you can't whip nobody. You going to jail.
mm, mm,
But I'm still whooping mine. So, but at the same time, I always knew I had a purpose. I just didn't know. So when I got sick, when I turned my life to Christ, gave my life to Christ, everything started opening up. And I started recognizing. But guess what? The devil hated it.
mhm,
Now I'm his enemy. I was his friend. Now I'm his enemy. And all kind of stuff started happening. And I went through so many trials and tribulations. It was, and he's still at me. I will tell you, back in um, February Valentine's Day, I coded twice.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, it died 26 minutes, and it died 10 minutes
Of this year?
this year
Oh my goodness.
due to COVID. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, so had to go through dialysis. Thank God, all that's good. It just yeah, had trach in my neck. 8 IVs, peg tube, you name it.
Mm,
And me, so that's the third time that God brought me back. So again, they told me as well. This young man is gonna be totally unable to walk again, and said I was gonna be a vegetable. I got pictures. They got stuff all on my head. This is back in February 2022.
wow.
And I'm here today, 7 months later, talking to you again about this situation. So God got His hands on my life, and everything's back normal. I'm back, touring the world, all over the world, for my movie and whatnot, which will come out next year. So when God got His hands up on it, can't no devil in hell can stop that. Yeah,
Brother.
yeah. So I'm here to say to be a witness about how good He is if you turn your life around.
Okay. They say God loves you.
Yeah.
Uh, he's proven it obviously to you on multiple occasions.
Yes, sir.
And at the same time, the other side of that love is I ain't playing with you.
Yeah, exactly.
F around and find out.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? So uh be strong about my business is
Yeah.
what I understand the message
Yes, sir.
that you have received
Yes,
to
sir.
be. And so talk to me about the speaking engagements. Are you a TED talker, or are you just, what circuit are you on, or how do you
Well, I have my own business called Marwin Strong Motivation LLC.
Okay.
Uh, matter of fact, it's funny you said it because TED Talk just sent me an email. So we got to go through a lot of channels to get to that. But I speak all over the world. I'm also honorary deputy sheriff, so I have an opportunity to speak in prisons.
Mm.
Speak in prisons. I also speak in like schools, universities, you name it. So what happened with my Marwin Strong LLC? I am licensed by the state of Indiana to go out and I get proposals. Like, I do workshops, I do those type of things. So I spoke in Nantucket, I spoke in Boston. I got to go to UMass Boston, where I'm from. Well, actually, where I'm from, where I play basketball at, and I do a conference. I'll be the keynote speaker at the same school I want to play ball at. So I get an opportunity to share my story. So I'm everywhere. Like I said, my website is www.marwinstrong.com. And just we do contracts or whatnot. The whole thing, like the Eric Thomas and all them. So I'm everywhere. So that's what I do. And anywhere they go, I don't care if it's two people, I speak. I've spoken in front of 4,000 to 5,000 people, schools and the whole school systems. And, so yeah, that's what I do. I'm also a national known author. I'm ranked #1 on Amazon, Barnes and Noble Book of Millions, Walmart.com. Actually, the greatest thing that I love, I just found out about 3 days ago, well, Friday, that my book will be in Walmart stores in my hometown.
Yeah.
Uh,
There you
yeah,
go.
so
Okay.
I'm very excited I could come back, and my movie will actually be the first movie ever in Muncie, Indiana, a premiere movie. It's gonna be in my hometown. So I come home and I'm so humble, and it means so much to me that I could come back home and show other young men and young ladies. Just because you come from a small town, you could be anything you want to be, or coming from a single parent home. I want to be that beacon of hope for them.
Mm. I don't subscribe to the social construct of humble. To me, that means that you raise other people up at the denigration of yourself.
Hmm.
Grateful for the opportunity is what I recognize, and
Yeah,
grateful for
yeah,
the blessings is what I recognize.
yes,
Um,
sir.
Not to impose my thoughts on you, but
Oh
we're
yeah,
having a
oh yeah,
conversation. So this is the give and take. And
yeah,
I've been taking, now it's your turn. Uh so
yeah. I
so
love it.
yeah. I really love your story, and I love the power and the intestinal fortitude, that you're showing in continuing on and not letting health scares and de- deter you from the mission that has been set before you.
Yeah.
Some people will give up and focus inwardly
Hmm.
and only focus on themselves, not remember the mission of, I have to share this, I have to give to the world. This is my charge, this is my mission. Some
Yeah.
people get derailed,
Yeah.
you know, when they get really sick, or uh as you've died twice in 2022.
Yeah.
Um, you're like, man, it would be so much simpler probably if I just went out and enjoyed myself and ride the ride to the road end.
Yeah.
But you continue to take on the physically draining task of traveling the world
Yes.
and delivering, I'm sure, empowered speeches and
Yes.
talks to people, and giving yourself. And at the same time, in that giving, you have to be receiving a lot of input,
Yes.
and people are dropping their problems on you.
Yeah.
Some heavy loads out there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, on the mental tip, with all of the input that you're receiving, as well as developing messages to deliver and methodologies to do that, with all the input you receive, how do you maintain your mentals when people are now looking to you in a different light. When you were younger, you were the young buck that they looked up to because you had the fun, you had the street knowledge, et cetera, et cetera. Now you've got not only the street knowledge, but the life knowledge, and you're in touch with a higher power,
Yeah.
which exudes just from your very presence. Now they're laying this at your feet and on your shoulders. What do you do to protect your mentals?
Well, a lot of time, you always got to have, and I share this with a lot of people. You always got to have somebody to mentor to you.
Mm.
You always got to have people to pour to you, because it's like running out of gas. So if I sit up here and say, hey, I live in Indiana, I'm gonna drive to California, or one tank of gas, it's not gonna work.
Mm-mm.
So you always got to go back and fill up. So you got to have those type of people in your life to fill you up, to minister to you, just like, for instance, like, I have a pastor which basically raised me in the gospel. And he always pointed to me, he calls me. I have family members, I have people, my mentor, Coach Charlie Titus, at the UMass Boston. I have my significant other, my fiance, she knows me like a book. So she always share with me the things that I need to do to make sure that I maintain that type of mindset. And then another thing is always going to take prayer. You got to take care of yourself. You can't run yourself raggedy, as they say. You can't go out as, pour into other people when you're not getting nothing to receive. You're not receiving anything back. So yeah, so I always make sure I have a mental state where I gotta, sometimes God want me to be stand still. Don't run everywhere. Sometimes you gotta say no to certain things. You can't say yes all the time.
Right.
Because you gotta look at the motives of why people do what they do, and what are they using you for. I get thousands of mail out of prisons. I get people inbox, can you do this, can you do that. But sometimes you got to really, really take care of yourself and your health and make sure that's intact. I got to use a lot of wisdom. Take a lot of wisdom. Take a lot of knowing. What's the reason behind the person doing what they're doing, or trying to ask me type of questions, or want me to do this type of thing. So I always make sure I get mentorship from other people. I grew up. My mother said I've been here before when I was young, because I always wanted to hang around older people. I wanted to really know what they thought, and so I always been told I have an old soul. So I really take time out for myself. I really rest when needed. And I really want to make sure that I stay healthy, not just for me, more anything for my children and my grandson, which I have a beautiful. So it takes those things, and got to get things in order. We want to be things done decent order. So when I left out the hospital, I had a militant mindset.
Mm.
I was real militant. Wake up at a certain type of day, get this done. I like order, now. So back then I didn't care about order. I just went, and now I just want things in decent order.
Okay. Two-pronged question here.
Mm-hmm.
First, what's the most satisfying for you about what you do? And next, what is the most fun about what you do?
The most satisfying to me is when it could be one kid, it could be one person that come up to me and say I changed their life
Mm.
by the things I said. That's the most satisfying. That's the most that's like right there in my whole, like, I'm a preacher as well. So it's just one person comes and say they want to get their heart to God. It could be a million people, but one person come up and they hear what God is really putting me to deliver the message, the higher power, deliver the message to them. And one person's come and say, hey, I want to let you know, that touched me. That's now the most satisfying is me being up there. It's like when somebody called the introduction, you about to say, hey, Marwin Strong. That's like it's like the NBA Finals, baby. I'm like, let's go, let's get it. So that's the most funnest thing. I love what I do, and I love the going up in front of crowds. I'm not shy at all. I just like to just be like, it's like, man, it's almost like, because I do a workshop where I help other motivational speakers become motivation, and a lot of people say they have a fear factor, and I always tell them, say, look at it like this. I said, when you was real young and you was a little kid and you was in elementary school and the librarian had everybody sit Indian style, they was gonna read your book. You'll be that librarian. So think of the crowd is they're sitting Indian style, listening to what you got to say to them to change their minds.
Mm.
That's what you do. And I get a kick out of that. I
Mm.
mean, sometimes I might come out playing Michael Jackson, but and I think it happened when I was real young, when my mother used to take me to these type of juke joints, where they play tips and all that stuff, and everybody get drunk and they say, hey, Martha, call that boy Marwin out there if we could do that Michael Jackson. And they used to throw money at me, like, hey, I'm like, and I've never been shy, so I love that type. I love speaking to the world and infiltrating their minds and just really motivate them to understand that, just because you're in the situation you're in, don't mean you can always be like that.
Mm.
So,
Okay. For those, as a subject matter expert, I'm gonna lead you down this path. As a subject matter expert, for people who have to do public speaking, now there's a dynamic to speaking to a crowd of 4,000 in an auditorium or an arena, as opposed to speaking to 35 in a church or a community meeting spot. Not that the message changes, but you have a better connection with those 35 than you can with the 4,000.
Absolutely.
Talk to me how you approach each situation. And as kind of a tipster for those who might be looking to delve into the public speaking arena.
Well, the most beautiful thing is the most dynamic thing I love speaking in front of 10 people.
Okay.
Because it's more
Personal.
intimate. It's more intimate. It's more like, me. I want you to know me more than anybody. Because now we can have a conversation. Now we can get feedback. I get feedback. Now we can have Q&A. We can have those type of things. Question and answer. We can have those type of things. So it's more intimate with those type of people. 10 people, and it's more personal, as you say. Now, when you got 4,000 to 5,000, there's not too many you can't be that personal with them. So it's more of a, hey, I have to make sure I knock everything out, the points that need to be said. I got to make sure that I say what I need to say, and I got to do it with clarity and single mind. So what the key points I can leave them with? Where opposed to a person with 10 to 30, you can just be you. You don't gotta, you could take your shirt off, you could take your jacket off, like they say in the world. Can I just be real?
Mm.
You could be you. You could be the person. You could knock out every verb. You could throw a little ebonics in there.
Okay.
And you can't do that so much with 4,000 people. You got to make sure you got to be very precise, almost dot every I, cross every T, and you can use a sense of humor. But because you here to oppose everybody, other than the person that's 30 people.
So the arena, auditorium, 4,000, 5,000 people, it's more of a production. You've got larger physical movements,
Yeah.
stronger enunciation, stronger projection.
Yeah.
And then you could just be the homie with 10 people.
Exactly.
And still get the message across. And they feel perhaps that you brought more value to their lives in the setting with 10 than perhaps the commercial production with 4,000 to 5,000. Would that be fair?
That'd be fair, but at the same time, as a speaker, when you love it like I love it so much, I want to have that same impact. The same impact. I mean, I still just it's just I was born to do this.
Okay.
Yeah. It's my calling. It's not, I can't run from it. A lot of people have purpose on earth, and this is my purpose. I can't deter no other way. And I use that same passion with 4,000 as well as 10. The same energy, the same everything, but the difference is that I get an opportunity to know who they are. I can't know 4,000 names. But I know 30, you know,
Mm,
I can get your email, we connect. I can help you in certain ways other than the 4 or 5,000.
mm. So one of the things I hear like Steve Harvey say is take the leap. If you know you're meant to do it, take the leap.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself to take the leap. You say, trust your intuition and success will follow.
Yes.
Talk to me about how you developed that saying and what it means for you.
Well, the thing about it is when you said the intuition, trust it, and also take a leap. There's a song said, "I ain't never scared."
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah. I was raised like that.
mm,
I didn't never. If I told a dude, I didn't care how big he was. I think I'm also a first degree black belt. So my hands are licensed, my feet are licensed, and then plus I grew up in an environment where we've been rough. So I never been scared of that type of mentality. I never been scared to do nothing. You
right.
know, I used to get in trouble for being that mindset, a daredevil, jump off
Mm.
roofs and all that.
Oh, you
So
an X Games guy. Okay, I
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
see.
yeah. So when you talk about taking leaps, you know, it's second nature. I just do it.
Mm,
I like Nike just did it. I never had a second guess. If I fail, hey, I just fail. I'm gonna get back up and I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna learn from me falling
mm,
and I'm gonna go another approach. But I'm gonna still have that same mentality, not being scared. As far as me, I never panic. I never forget years ago, my mother, this guy used to hit my mom a lot. So I lived that life and I've seen it.
mm,
And I never forget the man was trying to get in because he said he was gonna kill us. And I looked at my mom, and my mom, I'm crying. My sister, I'm crying. My mother, she never moved. It never startled her. And I always wondered that. And I said, my mom has told me years ago, and I live by this. She said, son, you don't panic until you see me panic. And I never seen her panic. And
mm.
the most with lights off, gas off. Now she probably cried when she went around us,
Right.
but she never panicked. And that's the way I live my life for 45 years. And I think that goes a long way when you get bad news that you won't be able to walk again or talk again. You're gonna be a vegetable. But my mother always taught me, you don't panic. I can hear her voice now. You don't panic until you see me panic.
Duh. Right. Right.
So
I feel you. I have had the opportunity to use that saying to my wife. Why are you panicking? You see me panicking? You don't panic until I panic.
yeah,
When I panic, then it's a problem.
yeah, yeah.
Then it's a problem.
Amen.
I'm not going right. And I don't know how to fix it. So, and I'm not well, I'm a different type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say to others that, you know, short of having been raised up in the streets, in a family that was in the streets, in an environment that dictated you to be courageous every day at all times of the day. Everyone doesn't have that experience.
Yeah.
So I would buttress what you're saying by saying that the fear can be there. You can be scared, but courage
Mm-hmm.
is moving forward in spite of the fear.
Amen.
You know what I mean? And we have some issues with our people, and it's the message, the narrative is changing, but
Mm-hmm.
our people being afraid to ask for help and let people know, I'm scared, I'm not sure which direction to move. Can I talk to you? Can
Yeah.
you guide me? can I just, lean on your experience a little bit? It's not a shame to go and get help, especially you got a brother here, Marwin Strong, who his life experiences can help you straighten out the maze.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And move forward. And, he's touched by God, obviously, with 3 deaths to his credit. Not many of us can say that. I don't know anybody until I met you
Yeah.
that has those kind of stripes.
Yeah.
And having come back and fulfilling a mission that you knew you had at a young age, but you had to be spanked a couple of times
Yeah. Amen.
in order to say, F around and find out. I'm not playing with you,
Yes, sir.
young lion. This is the path that I've put you on. You are the Lion of Judah
Yeah.
right now. That's your mission,
Yeah.
is to be that Lion of Judah and lead your people, protect the flock, my people. Let me not start. Anyway, I ain't gonna do it. I'm the grandson of a preacher. I wasn't a preacher, but I know how to talk that talk. I know how to decipher, when a someone who's really of God is in
Yeah.
front. And as a journalist, I'm supposed to remain neutral and stay out of it, but bump that.
Yeah.
I tell the truth, and I don't really care what anybody says. I try not to put my opinion on people's lives, but my
Yeah.
experiences and my understanding is something to be shared in a conversation.
Amen.
And
Amen.
this is not an interview. This is a conversation with someone who's been put here for us to edify our lives,
Yes, sir.
help us move forward, share some gems. They say, I heard that cast not your pearls in front of swine or some,
Yeah.
paraphrasing, of course,
Yeah.
but there are no swine in this day and age.
Yes, sir.
There are people who just need to be cleaned up,
Yeah.
need an opportunity.
Yeah.
They might just need that little tiny beam of light, that little bitty crack to come on through.
You preaching, man.
Anyway, let me stop. So I want to thank you for your time. Brother, is there anything you wanted to cover that I may have neglected?
Well, no, you basically covered it all. I just want to say thank you guys, and and thank you, thank you me and my family. It's an honor to be in front of the things that you're doing as well. I heard a lot of great things about you. We all do research. Yeah, that's just part of our, especially when you're in our type of field.
Right.
I want to say thank you. Want the world to know, if they need me to speak at their place, they can reach me at my website, www.marwinstrong.com. The movie will be coming out as well. They can also reach me at my email at marwinstrong30@gmail.com. And I just want to speak all over the world, and let young kids, and no matter what nationality you are, to let you know they are somebody.
Okay. All right. All right, everybody. The Hype Magazine live sessions. The man is Marwin Strong. The message is born in between the covers of a book called Back from the Shadow of Death: Fulfilling Life's Mission with God's Help. It's okay to reach it. It's available in bookstores near you. Books a Million, soon to be in Walmart, he says. It's launching today in London. So it's a global message being accepted around the world. And God has got his hand on this, man. I'm going to say it. Y'all know I'm a heathen, but I know heathens know when they're in the face of a messenger that's been sent, appointed and anointed, to do the thing. So you can get it right now on Amazon. If you just don't want to leave your house, you're still scared of COVID, go to Amazon.com, look up Marwin Strong. It's under Christian Living, Books and Bibles. Back from the Shadow of Death: fulfilling life's mission with God's help. This man has died 3 times. He's got stripes like none other that I know of. You know what I mean? I understand Lazarus did it once. We got this brother here did it 3 times. He's been brought back 3 times. And he's living the message, he's living the mission and fulfilling, the responsibilities. He's been given life 3 times. So to whom much is given, much is required, and he is doing his thing. Marwin Strong, the Hype Magazine live sessions. It's been a pleasure and an honor, sir.
Thank you, man. God bless you and your family, man.
Peace and blessings. Thank you.